Touhou 20's demo is here, and it's great! For the most part. There's one giant asterisk to talk about, and I think it's an important one. I'm gonna try to compliment sandwich this. First off, the game's new characters are really cool, as to be expected. We have the CD character, who ended up being the chief of the Yamamba. The chief is named Ubame Chiruzi. Contrasting the normal small fries, we have a character who's already meant to be super strong, signifying that the incident is a bit different this go-around. For Stage 2, we have Chimi Hojo, sharing a surname with Nue. This is likely due to both of them being sort of mysterious in origin. She's also fluffy. But the character who's stolen the show is Nareko Michigami, from Stage 3. She's a dosojin, a sort of statue brought to life. Her duty is to stop something from breaking out of a mysterious pyramid, but she became bored out of her mind. So, she started daydreaming about stopping humans with riddles like a sphinx. That's exactly what she does in-game. Against Reimu, she gives the classic 4 legs, 2 legs, 3 legs riddle. Reimu says human, and Nareko says she's wrong. She gives the same riddle to Marissa, and Marissa doesn't know the answer. So, Nareko tells her that the answer is a human. She's a cheater! This, in conjunction with the contrast between her sphinxness and her archaeology gear, is very classic Touhou. She's easily my favorite character of the demo. The music's also really good. Well, I mean, duh. The songs this time around sort of combine atmosphere and oomph. The Stage 3 theme does fit the environment, yes, but it also kind of makes me want to dance. That's all well and good, and it's what we expected to be good. The graphics... This is where the but comes in. On one good side, we have the contrast. There's no more of that pink bullets on pink backgrounds nonsense. Everything looks clear and is readable. The portraits are also cool. But there's something I can't keep dancing around, and that is the AI-generated backgrounds. There are a few of them in this game, with this one being the most noticeable. They're not all AI-generated, but there's at least 3. From Ice Fairy and others, I do have more context. First, Zune is less anti-AI than you think he is. While he still thinks creativity best shines through human work, he hasn't ever explicitly said he hates AI. When you think about Touhou, Zune's work with backgrounds is done by transforming stock images into something new through collaging and effects. From his perspective, that's still what he's doing now. In addition, from goers to an event, we have a likely candidate for the tool Zune uses, Adobe Firefly. This is a tool advertised specifically for artists. Adobe Firefly claims to not use any stolen artwork for their generation, and does a decent job with the moderation of this. But these claims have been disputed by other people. Taken at face value, Zune thinks he's using art that is free of any plagiarism. Why does this matter? Because in the past, Zune has gotten some flack for using images he did not own the rights to, such as the background for the jewel case in Touhou 15. So, the AI gen in Touhou 20 is contextualized as Zune replacing work he's done as stock images in a way that seems to solve issues with using work without permission. But this is not meant to be a defense of Zune. Instead, it's meant to show all the context. I personally still do not like the fact that generative AI is used in this game at all, and I'm sure a lot of other people will be upset. I also fight against the narrative that, oh, it's okay because it's only background art. Background art is still drawn by background artists. If you have a problem with AI art in other areas, you should also have a problem with it being used for backgrounds. I do think the situation differs in that Zune always uses open source images, which is essentially what Adobe Firefly advertises itself for. No one is losing a job over this. But there is the fair argument that using the tech at all helps to normalize it, which is something I and many other people do not want. Admittedly, I am still planning on buying the game because my main issue with the technology is generally how it pushes people out of work. But everyone has a different line for how much they can tolerate. So, if you don't want to support the game, that's totally okay. And this is still a trial. If you're upset by this being in the game at all, you can voice your disappointment in public places. Just make sure to do it in a respectful way. I've seen some conversations devolve into people hurling insults at each other. It's not fun. So, that's the elephant. Oh, also in-game the stuff is barely noticeable, but like, this forest one's actually really ugly in gameplay. I hope it changes. But, I don't want this to be all doom and gloom. The second biggest surprise to me from the demo was the gameplay. Touhou 20's got a really interesting set of mechanics, pretty high difficulty, and a lot of room for replayability. Zoom said he was going back to basics with this game. He lied. There are 8 different shot types by default for each character. Well, 2 are shared between Rainbow and Marissa, so that means there's still 14 shot types. And they've each got unique things. These are all based on previous games. So, you can get the extra stage season from Touhou 16, or the giant homing amulets from Touhou 7. The anniversary aspect is cool, but each shot also gets its own unique hyper attack. It could be a simple damage flurry, or it can be something like a shield against bullets. The hyper bar is filled from pickups, which can be generated from Graze. Graze has a use again, but as you fill the hyper bar, you'll also fill a bar that summons Wonder Stones, UFO-style enemies that can get in the way of patterns. But these have a cycle of dropping resources. So, do you go for a lot of crystals to get your hyper and try to chain it? Or do you balance it so as to not summon a Wonder Stone at a bad time, like during a boss? There is the fear that the stone system could become overwhelming like the UFOs, but aside from some bugs, that's really my only complaint. The core mechanics this go-around are extremely strong. But that's not even all. The story of the game is based around 2 ideas: a time loop Gensoki of stuck in, and yokai losing their power outside the sanctuary. As you go through the game with different colored stones, dialogue slightly changes, playing into the time loop aspect. But what also plays into the time loop is repeated runs. When you beat the game with a stone, you unlock that stone to use to customize your shot type. You can have a different focus shot combined with a different wide shot, and there's even an assist shot that can add additional effects. There's over 5,000 different shot types to experiment with. It's crazy! The Danmaku also provides a nice challenge. The Stage 1 boss has 3 patterns, and throws spinning fairies at you. Stage 2 has some crazy bullets you have to be ready for. My first playthrough looked like this. It's Stage 2! Shimmies also killed me multiple times, especially with this bouncing fire pattern. In Stage 3, you have a classic lead-through a la Touhou 18, and some popcorn bullets that can collide with the bottom of the stage. And then Nariko serves as a nice laser-filled end to the trial. You combine that with the thousands of builds you can make to tackle the challenges, and you have one of the most exciting Touhou games, at least gameplay-wise, in a long time. So, Touhou 20. New characters and music. Great! AI-generated backgrounds. Not as bad as it sounds with context, but still bad in my opinion. The dynamic gameplay systems? Incredible! There's a lot to think about with Touhou 20. Whether or not you choose to support the game is up to you. I hope you enjoyed my overview of the demo.